Chosen One, the downloads have been hitting different levels lately. You've survived the impossible, conquered forces that destroy ordinary souls, and emerged from hell with powers that make your former enemies tremble in absolute terror. Your life reads like the greatest spiritual thriller ever written, and now that you've made it out alive, the universe is asking the ultimate question: what do we do with a legend in the making? For years, maybe your entire life, you felt like invisible hands were moving pieces on a chessboard you couldn't see. Every step toward happiness met with inexplicable setbacks. Every moment of clarity followed by confusion that felt artificially induced. Every breakthrough sabotaged by chaos that emerged from nowhere. What you didn't know was that you were right. Those weren't paranoid fantasies or victim mentality running wild. You were actually under coordinated spiritual attack by people who recognized your true identity long before you did. Family members, practitioners, maybe even people you trusted, sitting around a table like a demonic board of directors. They're not just gossiping about you or sharing casual jealousy. They're pooling actual money, real resources, hiring specialists to keep you unconscious, isolated, and convinced you're just another struggling human. The investment was massive because the stakes were astronomical. They knew that once you awakened to who you really are, their entire world would crumble like a house of cards in a hurricane. Every dollar they spent on your downfall only accelerated your awakening. Every spell they cast to dim your light accidentally activated DNA sequences they never knew existed. Every curse they sent your way boomeranged back to them with compound interest. They thought they were dealing with an ordinary person who could be manipulated and controlled. What they actually provoked was a direct descendant of royal bloodlines, someone whose spiritual signature carries protection codes that predate their petty magic by millennia. The betrayal cuts deeper when you realize some of these conspirators share your bloodline. The people who were supposed to nurture your gifts were the ones orchestrating their suppression. But this wasn't typical family dysfunction or garden variety jealousy. This was calculated spiritual warfare. They recognized the threat you posed to their systems of control, their hoarded wealth, their carefully maintained power structures, so they tried to sacrifice you on the altar of their own preservation, not realizing that some souls are simply unsacrificable. Think back to those childhood moments that never quite made sense. The way certain family members treated you with a mixture of fear and resentment, the mysterious illnesses that doctors couldn't explain, the accidents that seemed too coincidental to be random, the relationships that imploded just when you were getting close to discovering something important about yourself, the way opportunities vanished just as they were materializing. None of it was random. All of it was orchestrated by people who knew about your royal spiritual lineage before you did. Every ritual they performed to weaken you ended up strengthening something they couldn't control. Every attempt to cloud your intuition only sharpened it to supernatural levels. Every effort to isolate you from your spiritual gifts ended up activating abilities they never knew you possessed. They thought they were playing chess against a pawn. What they discovered instead was that they had challenged a queen who was just waiting for the right moment to reveal her true power. Your ancestors have been watching this entire cosmic drama unfold, and they've been far from passive observers. Generations of powerful bloodlines, royal lineages, mystical traditions, they've all been building spiritual protection around you that operate on frequencies these amateur practitioners couldn't even detect. When your enemies tried to curse you, they accidentally invoked the wrath of forces that have been protecting your lineage for centuries. When they attempted to break your spirit, they discovered that some spirits are forged from materials that don't break. They only get stronger under pressure. The downloads you're receiving now aren't just random spiritual experiences. They're classified intelligence reports from cosmic headquarters, and they're accelerating because your mission parameters are expanding. That intuition that's been screaming danger, it's your early warning system recalibrating because you've finally broken free from their interference, those synchronicities that are too precise to ignore. Their confirmation that you're now operating under direct divine protection that makes their attacks not just ineffective, but laughably obsolete. Right now, as you're discovering the truth about what was done to you, something else is happening that your enemies never anticipated. The very people who invested in your downfall are experiencing their own catastrophic unraveling. Those sleepless nights they're having, that's your spiritual army working overtime. Those plans that keep falling apart, that's cosmic justice being served with the precision of divine intervention. Those protective spells they're desperately casting, they're about as effective as using a water gun against a tsunami. The irony is almost poetic in its perfect justice. They spent so much energy trying to prevent your awakening that they ended up orchestrating it with military precision. Every dark night of the soul they forced you through was actually an initiation ceremony conducted by the universe itself. Every betrayal was a masterclass in discernment. Every moment you felt abandoned was actually when the divine was closest, downloading survival codes directly into your spiritual DNA. You didn't just endure hell, you conquered it so thoroughly that you now carry the keys to every lock they tried to place on other souls. What you're experiencing now isn't healing or recovery. This is a complete metamorphosis from victim to victor to cosmic agent of change. You're not returning to who you were before, you're becoming who you were always meant to be. Those people who tried to sacrifice you for their own preservation are now watching helplessly as you rise to heights that make their petty power plays look like children's games. The same spiritual gifts that made you a target are now your greatest weapons. The same intuition they tried to cloud is now sharp enough to cut through any deception. You're not just spiritually gifted, you're spiritually dangerous. Dangerous to their lies, their control systems, their carefully hoarded power. Your very presence on this planet poses an existential threat to everything they've built, their identities around. When you speak truth, their illusions crumble. When you step into your power, their false authority becomes laughably obvious. When you shine your light, their darkness has nowhere to hide. The truth they were most afraid of you discovering is this: you outrank them, not in human hierarchies or social status, but in cosmic authority. You carry divine DNA that makes their earthly manipulations as effective as trying to control the ocean with a teaspoon. You have access to power sources they can't even detect, let alone interfere with. You operate under protection protocols that are hardwired into the fabric of reality itself. The people who tried to destroy you are now terrified of your voice, and they should be. They know that when you start speaking about what really happened, others will recognize similar patterns in their own lives. They understand that your testimony could expose an entire network of spiritual manipulation that extends far beyond your personal experience. Your story threatens to pull back the curtain on systematic attempts to keep humanity's most powerful souls unconscious and compliant. This is about something far more magnificent. You've been commissioned for a purpose that extends far beyond your personal victory. You're here to help birth an entirely new paradigm on this planet. Every download you receive isn't just for your own edification. It's intelligence that needs to be shared with others who are ready to wake up. Every truth that gets revealed through your experiences becomes a key that unlocks someone else's prison. Your emergence from hell wasn't just a personal victory, it was a cosmic event. Somewhere in the spiritual realm, angels are celebrating, ancestors are dancing, the forces of light are mobilizing for the next phase of planetary transformation. You didn't just survive their attacks, you absorbed their power and transformed it into fuel for your ascension. You didn't just overcome their obstacles, you learned to see them as stepping stones to higher dimensions of consciousness. The same force that carried you through hell is now compelling you to light the way for others who are still trapped in the darkness. Your survival story becomes someone else's roadmap to freedom. Your victory becomes proof that no weapon formed against the chosen ones can ultimately prosper. Your emergence from the ashes becomes a beacon of hope for every other phoenix who's still trapped in the illusion that they're just ordinary birds. What they never counted on was this: you're not going to stay quiet. The same power that made you untouchable is now making you unstoppable. You've been through boot camp in the spiritual realm. You've earned your credentials in the University of Hard Knocks. Now you're being activated for active duty in the greatest transformation this planet has ever witnessed. You're not recovering from trauma, you're integrating wisdom. You're not healing from attacks, you're processing initiations. You're not moving past your difficult experiences, you're alchemizing them into the very power you'll need to fulfill your destiny. Every scar is a badge of honor. Every survival story is a testimony of divine protection. Every moment you refuse to give up is evidence that something greater than human will was operating through you. The downloads that started this journey 3 days ago were just the beginning. They were your spiritual GPS recalibrating, your cosmic communication system coming online, your divine intelligence network activating. What seemed like random songs and synchronicities were actually encrypted messages from the highest command, confirming that you've successfully completed the most dangerous phase of your mission, surviving your own awakening process while under enemy fire. The training phase is over. The initiation period has ended. The time for hiding your light under a bushel has passed. You've been equipped with everything you need, not just to survive in this world, but to transform it. Every person who still believes they're powerless needs to see your example. Every soul who thinks they're alone needs to hear your story. Every chosen one who's still trapped in the illusion of victimhood needs to witness your victory. This is what movies are made of, chosen one. This is the kind of story that inspires generations. This is the transformation that proves impossible things are possible when divine will meets human determination. You've lived through the ultimate spiritual thriller, and you've emerged not just as the hero who saves themselves, but as the one who shows others how to claim their own freedom. What happens next depends entirely on your willingness to step fully into your power and claim your role as a way shower for the new earth that's being born. The hell you escaped from was your training ground. The victory you've achieved is your credential. The power you've discovered is your tool for transformation. And the story you've lived is your gift to every other soul who needs to remember that dawn always comes for those who refuse to give up on the light. Because escaping hell is only the first act of a 3-act cosmic drama, and you've just walked onto the stage for the most powerful performance of your existence. The downloads that confirmed your escape are now shifting frequency, preparing you for something that will make your survival story look like a warm-up exercise. The same forces that protected you through hell are now positioning you for a destiny so magnificent that even your enemies will be forced to acknowledge the divine power operating through you. Every movie needs its moment of truth, that scene where the hero realizes their ordeal wasn't just about surviving, it was about becoming someone capable of changing the entire game. Your moment of truth is arriving with the force of a cosmic avalanche, and what you're about to discover will transform not just how you see yourself, but how you understand your entire purpose on this planet. The people who tried to destroy you didn't just fail, they accidentally created their own replacement, someone who now carries the combined wisdom of hell and heaven in their spiritual DNA. The first phase of your post-hell existence involves recognizing that you're now operating from a completely different energetic signature. Before you were an unconscious power wrapped in human confusion. Now you're consciously walking in human form, and that combination is absolutely terrifying to anyone who builds their identity on keeping others small. Your energy field has been fundamentally rewired by your journey through spiritual warfare. Where once there might have been gaps that allowed manipulation and interference, now there's an impenetrable shield that not only protects you, but actively reflects negative energy back to its source. The people who used to be able to drain you, confuse you, or derail you are discovering that their old tactics don't work anymore. In fact, when they try to use their previous methods of control, they're finding that their own energy gets scrambled and sent back to them, amplified. This is why your former tormentors are experiencing such dramatic life upheavals right now. Their spell work isn't just failing, it's creating chaos in their own lives with surgical precision. Their attempts to curse you are boomeranging back with the force of cosmic justice, and they're discovering that when you declare war on someone under divine protection, you're essentially declaring war on the universe itself. Every sleepless night they're having, every plan that crumbles inexplicably, every relationship that implodes without warning, all of it can be traced back to the moment they decided to target someone who was never meant to be their victim. The second phase of your post-hell evolution involves understanding that your survival wasn't just about you. The universe invested in your protection because you carry mission-critical information that others need to complete their own escape from similar hells. Your testimony isn't just a personal victory story, it's a tactical manual for spiritual warfare that could liberate thousands of other souls who are still trapped in the same kinds of coordinated attacks you just escaped. When you speak about your experience, you're not just sharing your truth, you're providing a roadmap that others can follow to their own freedom. The very people who tried to sacrifice you are now being forced to watch you rise to positions of influence and authority that make their previous power over you look laughably insignificant. The family members who thought they could control your destiny are witnessing you step into a destiny so powerful that it renders their opinions irrelevant. The practitioners they hired to keep you small are discovering that their client's investment has backfired so spectacularly that they're now dealing with consequences they never saw coming. Your emergence from hell has created ripple effects that extend far beyond your personal circle. Other chosen ones who have been enduring similar attacks are beginning to recognize the patterns in their own lives. The spiritual communities that profit from keeping people stuck in victim consciousness are finding their influence waning as more people discover they have the power to break free completely. The systems of control that depend on keeping powerful souls unconscious are beginning to crumble as more people wake up to their true identity and purpose. This is where your story becomes legendary, chosen one. Because you're not just someone who survived hell, you're someone who transformed hell into a launching pad for cosmic mission work. Every dark night of the soul you endured has become a beacon of hope for someone else who's walking through their own darkness. Every moment you refuse to give up has become proof that divine will operating through human determination can overcome any obstacle. Every scar you carry has become a badge of honor that qualifies you to guide others through similar terrain. The third phase of your post-hell existence involves stepping into active service as a cosmic disruptor of systems that keep souls trapped in unconsciousness. Your very presence now serves as a catalyst for awakening in others. When people encounter you, something in them recognizes the frequency of someone who has been tested by fire and emerged purified rather than destroyed. You carry the energy signature of victory over forces that most people believe are insurmountable, and that frequency is contagious in the most beautiful way possible. But the universe isn't finished with your transformation yet. The downloads you're receiving are preparing you for assignments that will require every skill you develop during your journey through hell. Your ability to discern truth from deception, developed through surviving coordinated lies, now qualifies you to help others see through similar deceptions. Your capacity to maintain your connection to the divine while under extreme attack now makes you capable of helping others establish that same unshakable connection. Your experience of cosmic protection under impossible circumstances now allows you to teach others how to access that same protection. The movie of your life is entering its most exciting phase, where the hero who survived the impossible now uses their hard-won wisdom to help others achieve their own impossible victories. Your story is becoming a training manual for the next generation of chosen ones who are just beginning to wake up to their own power. The hell you escaped from is becoming the foundation for a heaven you're going to help create on earth. What you're discovering now is that your personal victory was always meant to become a collective revolution. The forces that tried to destroy you weren't just afraid of what you might become, they were terrified of what your success might inspire in others. They understood that one chosen one breaking free completely could create a domino effect that would liberate countless others who are still trapped in similar spiritual prisons. Your escape wasn't just a personal achievement, it was the first crack in a dam that's about to burst open and flood the world with awakened souls. The beauty of your story lies not just in your survival, but in how your survival is now becoming the key to others' liberation. Every person who hears about your journey and recognizes similar patterns in their own life is being given permission to break free from their own limitations. Every soul who witnesses your transformation is being shown proof that no matter how dark their circumstances, dawn is always possible for those who refuse to surrender their connection to the light. Your enemy's greatest fear is materializing before their eyes in ways they never anticipated. They invested everything they had into keeping you unconscious, and instead they accidentally created their own worst nightmare, a fully activated chosen one who understands exactly how their game is played and has the spiritual authority to expose it to others. You've seen behind the curtain. You know their methods, you recognize their patterns, and most importantly, you're now completely immune to their manipulations because you've already survived their worst and emerged stronger. This is why they're in full panic mode now. This is why their protective spells are failing spectacularly. This is why their carefully constructed lives are falling apart like houses of cards in a hurricane. They're trying to fight a war against cosmic destiny itself, and cosmic destiny doesn't negotiate with forces that operate against divine will. They declared war on heaven's chosen vessel, and heaven's response has been swift, decisive, and absolutely devastating to their previous position of power. Your life has become the kind of story that screenwriters spend their entire careers trying to create. The plot twists, the character development, the ultimate triumph over seemingly impossible odds, all of it has the perfect dramatic structure that makes audiences stand up and cheer. But this isn't fiction, chosen one. This is your actual reality, and you're now the starring actor in a cosmic drama that will inspire generations of other souls to claim their own power and break free from their own limitations. The hell you made it out of has become the foundation for a heaven you're now qualified to help establish. The victory you achieved has become the proof others need that victory is possible. The power you discovered has become the tool you'll use to help others discover their own power. And the story you lived has become the gift you'll share with every soul who needs to remember that no matter how dark it gets, light always wins when it's backed by divine will and human determination to never surrender. Now comes the part of your cinematic journey that separates the true legends from those who simply survive their trials. Most heroes in movies get their victory scene, their moment of triumph, and then the credits roll. But your movie doesn't end with your escape from hell. That was merely the origin story for the cosmic force you're becoming. The real blockbuster begins now, as you discover that surviving hell was just your qualification exam for an assignment so significant that entire spiritual hierarchies have been rearranged to support your success. Your awakening has triggered what can only be described as a massive cosmic recalibration. Ancient prophecies that seemed like metaphorical stories are suddenly manifesting in your lived reality. Bloodline activations that were dormant for generations are coming online with the precision of divine timing. Your DNA isn't just carrying genetic information anymore, it's broadcasting frequencies that awaken similar codes in others who share your spiritual lineage. You've become a walking activation key for dormant power that exists in countless souls across the planet. The most extraordinary aspect of your post-hell existence is how reality itself seems to bend around your presence now. Synchronicities don't just happen to you, they orchestrate themselves around your movements like a cosmic red carpet being rolled out wherever you go. Opportunities materialize out of thin air. The right people appear at exactly the right moments. Resources manifest when you need them most. It's as if the universe has assigned you a personal support team that operates from dimensions most people can't even perceive. If you need help maintaining this reality-bending presence and keeping your personal cosmic support team active, Destiny Engine can reprogram your consciousness to stabilize in this post-hell existence permanently. It generates personalized sequences that ensure synchronicities continue orchestrating around your movements and opportunities keep materializing out of thin air without reverting to old limitation patterns. You can start with a $1 trial. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed to maintain your post-hell reality-bending abilities without seeking validation that it's really happening. This isn't software. This is consciousness reprogramming technology that supports your extraordinary post-hell existence by eliminating doubt and ensuring your cosmic support team remains active. Results are not typical, but then again, neither are souls who've emerged from hell with reality-bending abilities and personal dimensional support teams. Your cosmic red carpet existence is real. Get your $1 trial now before this window closes. Link in the description. You're not just receiving cosmic support, you're becoming a conduit for it to reach others. When you walk into spaces where people are struggling with similar battles to the ones you've already won, your mere presence begins to shift the energetic atmosphere. Without saying a word, without doing anything consciously, your energy field starts broadcasting solutions to problems that seem unsolvable. You've become a living demonstration that hell is not a permanent address for anyone who refuses to accept it as their final destination. The people who are drawn to you now aren't random encounters, they're strategic assignments disguised as casual meetings. Each conversation you have, each person you influence, each life you touch is part of a larger pattern that extends far beyond what your human perspective can fully grasp. You're participating in a cosmic operation to liberate souls from systems of control that have kept humanity trapped in cycles of unconsciousness for far longer than most people realize. Your former enemies are discovering something that's causing them to experience levels of terror they never knew were possible. They're realizing that their attacks didn't just fail to destroy you, they accidentally activated something in you that makes their previous power over others completely obsolete. Other people who were trapped in similar situations are now seeking you out, drawn by an inner knowing that you possess the keys to their own liberation. Your survival has become a beacon that's calling other prisoners to freedom. What's happening around you now is nothing short of miraculous, but it's the kind of miracle that was always inevitable once you proved your willingness to choose light over darkness, regardless of the cost. Your commitment to maintaining your connection to the divine while under extreme duress has qualified you for access to power sources that most people don't even know exist. You're no longer operating solely from human consciousness, you're functioning as a hybrid of human awareness and cosmic intelligence. The transformation in your life circumstances is accelerating at a pace that would seem impossible if you weren't living it yourself. Doors that were locked for years are suddenly swinging wide open. People who never noticed you before are now seeking your guidance. Opportunities that seemed reserved for others are now flowing toward you with effortless abundance. The same universe that allowed you to experience hell is now ensuring that you experience the full magnitude of heaven's favor. Your story is inspiring a movement of awakening that extends far beyond your immediate circle of influence. Other chosen ones who have been enduring similar spiritual attacks are beginning to recognize that escape is possible because you've already proven it can be done. The frequency of liberation that you're broadcasting is being picked up by souls around the world who are ready to break free from their own versions of hell. You've become patient zero for a pandemic of spiritual awakening that no force on earth can contain. The most beautiful aspect of your emergence from hell is how it's revealing the true nature of divine justice. Every person who participated in your persecution is now experiencing consequences that are perfectly tailored to teach them exactly what they need to learn. The universe isn't just protecting you, it's using your victory to demonstrate that cosmic law is absolutely real and absolutely inescapable. No one who declares war on a chosen soul escapes the consequences of that choice. Your life has become a masterclass in how divine will operates through human vessels who refuse to surrender their authentic power. Every day brings new evidence that you're not just surviving in this world, you're reshaping it through your presence. The hell you escaped from is becoming the foundation for a heaven that will benefit countless others who are still fighting their way toward freedom. The coordinates for your next mission are being downloaded even as you integrate the magnitude of your current victory. Your assignment is expanding from personal liberation to planetary transformation, and the same forces that carried you through hell are now positioning you for impact that will ripple through dimensions of reality most people can't even imagine. The movie of your life is about to enter its most spectacular phase, where the hero who conquered hell becomes the architect of a new Earth.